Hello and welcome back to the Happiness Safari podcast. My name's Nadine. I'm so happy you're here. I'm here to guide you to connect to who you really are through yoga and coaching so you don't feel lost or lonely anymore, but are empowered to live the life of your dreams. And the podcast is here to support you and inspire you through stories from incredible people just like you and me who found their happiness and who are sharing their happiness journey. And today on the podcast, I talk to a very old friend. Kati is a mom of 2 toddlers now and the mind behind Strawberryblondemind, where it's all about mindset, intuition, and manifesting. She offers mentoring to help her clients remember who they truly are and find their purpose, ease, and abundance. Her own journey began back in 2014 when she realized she needed to make a change in her life. She felt disconnected from herself, lost and stuck. Because she always longed for spirituality and a deeper meaning in her life, she decided to travel to South America and participated in her first Ayahuasca retreat. During this retreat, she also started Ashtanga Yoga and never stopped again. By learning about mindset and starting to teach it herself, she found her missing piece of the puzzle and now passes on what she has been learning and continues to learn on her own journey. Until today, Kati has participated in 30 ayahuasca sessions, and in this episode she shares her journey, how ayahuasca changed her life in so many ways, and why letting go was the scariest part. From today's episode, you will learn what ayahuasca is, if ayahuasca is for you, how you could heal trauma with ayahuasca, why ayahuasca is not for everyone, how to follow your intuition, and why no one is helping you except yourself, and how to leave your limitations behind. I really hope you will enjoy this episode. Hi, Kati. I'm so happy to talk to you finally. And we've been knowing each other for ages, really. And now kind of had a similar journey and also doing a similar work. And it's been so interesting, seeing you over the last several years, changing your life in a very special way. So I just want to know more about that and also share with the listeners. So please tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe your journey from when you started to where you are now.
Mm-hmm. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. Super excited and always happy to talk about, especially ayahuasca. I love to talk about my experience because that's really when my journey began, because that's really when my life changed 180 degrees. That was like the main event. So just to give you like a really quick overview, because you know me from earlier, but so I was always a very insecure girl, and I cannot think of another way to describe it other than I felt super disconnected. I had no real connection to myself, and I really didn't understand why I was the way I was and why I was behaving the way I was behaving. And when I got older, like my teenage years, that's when we met. I was so insecure, and I always solved that little problem with drinking a little bit too much, because having 1 glass of wine made me feel a little bit more comfortable, and the voice inside my head got a little bit quieter. And but it never was just 1 glass. It was always a little bit too much, or way too much. And I was really in so much pain because I was feeling so lost, and I was so ashamed because I really didn't understand why I was drinking so much and why I felt the way I felt. And I was so sad about that, and I couldn't change it. And at one point I just realized it was like a depression. I was really hopeless and I always had this longing for more meaning in life and more spirituality, but I couldn't find a way in, and I was just lost. I was really lost. And
but you said you wanted to change, but was there anything you tried before to change?
Yeah, I tried to drink less. So I tried to I didn't, because I had no idea what the root was. I had no idea why I was drinking so much. So obviously it didn't work when I just tried to stop over drinking. And yeah, but that was just like one symptom. This over drinking was just when we went out. I didn't drink at home or something in the evenings, but just when we went out. And but that really was a big thing for me, because when you're in school, word travels fast and you get sort of a reputation. And really, I just didn't understand. I just wanted to be happy, and I just wanted to be self-confident. And I was so I felt so lost and so disconnected. I couldn't even try anything because I had no capacity. I had no emotional intelligence. But that's how you could describe it.
Yeah.
I had no idea what to do. I just knew that this was not leading in a good direction,
And what happened then?
So my husband, I met him when I was 17, and he was the first one who told me about ayahuasca. And he said something like it was the highway, like the fast lane, to solve your traumas and to really find out who you are and come closer to yourself, reconnect. But he also said it could be like you would be maybe throw up or have to go to the toilet. And back then I was like, no, because I was at that point in my life where I wouldn't leave my comfort zone, never. So I said, no, I don't think so. But it kind of stayed with me. And then a few weeks later, I read in a fashion magazine, which is very funny because it was a fashion magazine. And I read an article about ayahuasca. And there was this one sentence that stayed with me. And that was when I decided, I think, because it said, when you do a 2-week retreat of ayahuasca, it's comparable with 20 years of therapy.
Oh, wow.
And I read that and I said, okay, because I always had this, I would jump into the cold water and sometimes it would overwhelm me, but it's just the way I'm wired. And that's when I decided. And it took a while, but I think that's when I decided that I would try this. It took a while, and I went on and traveled after I graduated from university. And I went to a point where I really felt really, really completely hopeless, because I realized I didn't feel anything. I wasn't even sure I could feel love. I was really hopeless. And I think looking back, all the pain and all these moments, I think they were necessary, because I think life is meant to break us open. And my favorite quote, I think it's one of my favorite quotes, is by Rumi, and it says, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." And that's exactly how I felt, because that was the lowest I ever felt. And I knew I had to change something. And that's when I could finally make this decision. And then I went and did this ayahuasca retreat, my first one.
Where did you do it? And how old were you when you did it?
I was 24. It was it was 2014. And that totally, I think everyone finds their tools, or the universe sends them your way, and what's right for you will find you. And it was the right thing for me. I think it saved me, because I felt so reconnected for the first time. I really felt myself, and I understood so many things. It was like my emotional intelligence was at 0 before. I had no clue. I was completely disoriented. And then afterwards it went to 1,000, I really, it was very beautiful. I felt so, present and alive, Yeah.
Wow. And what was the actual experience like?
So I went there because I thought, okay, I want to find out what I want to do with my life. But yeah, I had to go way, way back. I think like emotionally I was it even started before I was born. And then I was like a lot of hours passed and I felt like I was back 4 years old. And so the first experiences were just really like very healing. I just felt like I was 4 again, and I lay there and I watched everyone else, and it was just very, I felt so protected and so safe, and those were really nice experiences. But also I went through my own hell. So ayahuasca is nothing you do to have like a nice experience. It's very, it's very challenging. It can be very cruel. Yeah. And so I had the most beautiful experience and the most horrible ones too. And
very quickly, maybe for the listeners who don't actually know anything about ayahuasca and have no idea what it is, can you quickly describe what it actually is?
So I would describe it like this. It's like a plant medicine, and it's from Peru, and it's like a sacred ritual, and they make it in the Amazon, in the rainforest, and it's made out of a leaf and a liane. It's liane, or I think in English, and they use it to. It's a spirit, and they use it for knowledge, for gaining knowledge, and also for treating mental or physical illnesses. And it expands your awareness. It contains DMT, so it's a how do you say that?
Psychedelic.
Yeah, psychedelic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. And how long was your first retreat?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
But you
and you took it every day, or you had some break?
No, every second day, every other day. So, but I think we added one, so it was like 6 times.
Wow.
Times, I think. But it's a never-ending process, and you're never done. But it's such a beautiful experience, and I will be forever grateful for that, because I always had this feeling there must be more to life than this society that we've created, and I always thought there must be more, and I cannot even begin to describe what you experience, because when you go really deep, you enter a place where there is no difference between life or death, and it's beautiful. And ayahuasca has several effects. It's a cleanse, because it's like a little bit like yoga, because all our emotions and our traumas, they get stuck in our joints. And ayahuasca is a cleanse. I've seen people come there with like eyes that were like totally like cloudy, and they didn't have like, they had a very bad posture, and then I saw them like lose 5 or 10 pounds in 1 week of water, and the eyes got clear, and they changed completely in the way they walked, and they stood up straight. And so you can heal traumas, and it's also a cleanse, and your awareness gets expanded. And it's really, it's very hard to describe it to someone who hasn't made that experience. I mean, you did it. You know a little bit about what I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, I did it only twice, and I mean, I did it 2 days in a row, right? And as you described, I mean, I had a very horrible experience, and I had a very beautiful experience. And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that it's like really intense to do it for so long, because I mean, I'm sure I want to do it again one day, but I feel that, I mean, it was also the most horrible thing. It really doesn't, I mean, it didn't taste great, and I was throwing up a lot. So for
And it
me,
gets worse.
yeah.
The taste gets worse every time, because when I first drank it, I said, "Oh, it's not that bad." I felt really cool because I thought, "Okay, that's easy." And then when you drink it more and more and more and more, it's getting harder and harder.
Wow.
Because your soul knows what's about to come.
Exactly.
I don't think it's for everyone. I think, but if it's for you, you will feel it, and if it's not for you, you will probably not even, it will not cross your path, maybe.
Yeah, true. So everybody who's listening to the podcast, you might attract this. That it's on your path. But yeah. But what would you recommend people who are scared? I mean, like you, or when, you know, I mean, it took you 7 years to then finally do it.
No, it didn't take me 7 years, because it took me, I think, oh, wait, you're right. It took me a while, because it took me a while, right? I think the right moment will come, and you will just do it, because I had second thoughts, and it was like someone else was deciding for me, because it was just happening, you know. I could have said, no, I'm not getting on that flight. I'm not doing it. But something kind of like it took over, and I just knew now is the right time, and this is what I have to do. So I think you just need to listen to your intuition and go follow that. And yeah. Because I'm scared every time when I mean, it's been a while since I had my last retreat, but every time I'm super scared, because it's really, you have to, doing ayahuasca is kind of a little bit like learning to die, because you have to let go. Because with ayahuasca, once you start to resist, it's getting really ugly. It's very, very uncomfortable. It's getting bad very quickly once you resist, but you have to go with the flow, and you have to let go. And that's the scariest part for us, I think, because humans like to
be in charge.
I like to be in charge and control everything to feel safe. And that's what you have to do when you drink ayahuasca. You have to let go, and you have to go with the flow. Otherwise, you lose your mind. I had moments, especially when I solved that drinking thing, that over drinking, because I did solve that, and it never was the same again. And it's just gone. And it was horrible.
But you still drink, right?
And I tried to I had a time after that where I couldn't touch any sort of alcohol. But now when I feel like it, I have a glass of wine, and I can enjoy that. But I would never get to a point, because I'm confident now. I don't need this anymore. And I don't need it anymore. And it's just, it's gone. It's not there. But that was very horrible. But best session ever. Like, it was very, very terrible, but afterwards I was so happy.
What happened exactly? Can you tell?
I didn't know what was gonna happen, because you drink it and then you lay down, and you know how it works. You lie there, and the lights are off. You have a little light maybe in the middle, and you just listen to music or the singing, and you just lie there and wait, and all of a sudden it starts to kick in. And for me, I always see these snakes and these visuals, because I feel like ayahuasca is like a snake spirit. It's I don't know. And then I started to have these well-known feelings of like feeling, I was feeling drunk, and I was drunk, and I think I was at Oktoberfest, and it was terrible. And I said, "Oh no, please, someone help me!" But no one's helping you except yourself. And I had to learn that night. And I felt all these horrible feelings, all the shame, and I was feeling sick. And at some point, the shaman came to me and said to me, "You're not that weak. Go into the rage, like get angry, get into your power." And that really helped me. And then everything shifted. And then I started thinking, okay, nobody's going to come and help me. I need to solve this right now. I need to do this. And then I said, okay, what would I do? I would drink water. And then I drank and then the water tasted exactly like it tasted like vodka. And then I said, okay. And I drank it all, and then I had to throw up, and then sort of everything like shifted, and it was a very intense experience. But yeah, that's what happened.
Like you were cleansing, like you were physically kind of, I mean, you're throwing up because of the taste, but you were letting go probably of all the experiences and, the connection to alcohol and all of that.
Yeah. Because when you have to throw up on ayahuasca, it's like, it feels like a lot, but it's actually not that much. And it's a lot of energetic, like,
But it's so, I mean, for me, it was so tough on my body. It was physically so hard, like I mean, it was, it was tough. But then, okay, how many times have you done it? Like, how many sessions? Do you know?
I think about 30.
Wow.
So far. Wow. Yeah, because you're never done, and you go deeper and deeper, and
wow.
So I will do it again, but at the moment it's a little bit difficult because it's like not always accessible. It's to go to Peru or Brazil and or someplace else. Yeah.
Wow. And
it's really
so then that was your most life-changing experience when you're
back then, yes, because ayahuasca picks you up where you are emotionally. So, and I was grown up, I was 24, but emotionally I felt like a child. And it sort of brings you back to where you stand, and you can grow up from then, from that. And it's like a process. And that was one very intense experience that was very profound. But I had others as well. I mean, we were talking a lot about over drinking and stuff. Don't get the wrong impression. I didn't have like a problem, but when we went out, it was like always too much, and I struggled with that. But it wasn't about the drinking, it was what caused it, this insecurity. And I suddenly understood where it came from, and I could heal so much, so many traumas, and so we all have thousands of little traumas. And
And what happened then? So you went to Peru and you came back after 2 weeks or longer of traveling, and then
it was in Brazil. And we stayed there because we stayed there I think 1 more month, and that was a time where that was really nice, because I felt so connected and alive and present, and we had no worries. We were traveling and we were just able to be and have fun. And we did many retreats after that, and
But I'm wondering, did you come back and then, what did your family, I mean, I know your parents also, but what did people say? Could they tell that you changed, or your friends? And
yeah, they could tell. They couldn't put their finger on it, I think, because I didn't tell everyone what I did, but they could tell because I was different. I grew up a little bit, and I started my journey. It was really like as if I woke up. It was what I needed to turn the tide. And I found back to myself, and I started loving myself, and yeah. And the way I experienced other people shifted as well, because before, when you showed me a picture of someone smiling, I would say, yeah, that's a person that's smiling. But afterwards, I could see like much deeper, and I could tell if the person was really smiling or if there was actually a sad person smiling, It was like my, that changed as well.
Yeah. And would you like to share what you're doing now, actually, and how you're helping other people?
So, it was last year that we went to Mexico. We left everything behind. We gave up our apartment and went to Mexico. And that's when I started.
Can I add, with 2 little children?
Yeah.
I mean, that's also.
Yeah, 8 months at that time.
Yeah.
She was 8 months. And but it was the right thing to do. It was scary, but it was really the right thing to do. And I don't know if it was the change of scenery. I think it was. I think it's a real life hack to get out of your hometown, out of your bubble. And so I started taking a course at the Proctor Gallagher Institute with Bob Proctor, and that sort of closed the circle for me, because ayahuasca and also yoga taught me so much, but when mindset came into the equation, it was like it closed the circle. And I discovered that I really love helping people. I love helping people find their way back to their inner light, because we all have that inner flame, but it's like completely blocked sometimes. We can't really feel it anymore because of our ego, all the fear-based identity we give ourselves. And the ego, it's like a muscle, and it's like so strong that you lose the connection to your light. And once you start to cultivate a mindset and you find your way back to that light, at some point it takes over, and the ego gets smaller and smaller, and the mindset and your intuition, that's becoming the main muscle. And that's when you really connected to yourself and you feel in charge of your own life. And that's what I love doing, and that's what I discovered, that I really love helping people like leave all of their limitations behind that we put on ourselves, actually. Yeah. And so that's what I do. I'm helping people reconnect to their intuition, reconnect to their inner light, and rise and shine out of these boxes that we put ourselves in.
Beautiful. Yeah, and it's very true. It's a very good connection, right? As you say, one is the emotional part, is maybe ayahuasca, and also our subconsciousness or the past, and healing that. And then yoga is also the physical aspect, because you're also saying everything, the trauma also stays in our joints. But then to have tools to also understand our minds, because, I think also it's really powerful to have physical experiences. But then sometimes our mind and our ego is always in the way, and questioning and doubting. And then if you actually have tools for your mind as well to understand yourself better and to treat yourself differently, then perfect.
Yeah, I think you need those. Ayahuasca might break you open, but you need to do the work. You need to continue in your day-to-day life, because otherwise it's not really doing much when you forget everything and you get back to your daily life. I have to do the inner work.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I thank you for sharing your story. I've been wanting to share that for a long time, and you inspired me. I mean, because of you, you placed the seed. I mean, I did
Yes.
ayahuasca, so
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So at the end, I always ask the same three questions, and the first one is, what does happiness mean to you?
Happiness to me means being in alignment, being really in tune with myself, with my soul's purpose, like really being connected. Yeah, and present. That's happiness for me. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And what do you do to be happy?
So having two kids, it's easy to lose yourself, and it's because I have a limited time. But I try to move myself. Yoga always brings me back to myself. So I move myself. I try to get silent, and sometimes one deep breath is enough. But I do the inner work. I continuously like work on my mindset, but not in a hard way, not like to push, but more like asking the right questions and getting silent and listening to my intuition. So, and a lot of self-care. For me, it's important to have time for myself and I'm trying to create more time for myself because it's sometimes really challenging.
Yeah. Very good. And the last one is, what was the happiest moment of your life?
I can't, it's impossible for me to pin it down to one moment because I think there are so many and they're equally happy. And sometimes it's just a little moment, like when I'm having dinner, like on the floor around the coffee table with my husband and my kids, and everyone gets along and everyone enjoys what they're actually eating, because it's not always the case. And we're just together, and yeah, that's one moment where I really am very happy. And there were plenty others when my children were born, especially my daughter, because with my son it was my first, and I was younger and I was like a little bit in shock. But with my daughter I was really present, and it was almost like an ayahuasca experience because I was so in the moment. It was, I could touch the atmosphere, it was very powerful. And
you were doing home birth for Kaya also?
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them.
And yeah, both of them. And with my son, with Finn, we were alone because the midwife came too late.
Wow.
And she came when he was already there, actually. So I was really a little bit in shock. Everything went fine, but it was my first child, and I was in shock. I couldn't really get
alone, but your husband was there.
With my husband.
Yeah, okay. He was
there. But with my daughter was different. The midwife was there, and I knew what I was about to experience, and it was different. I was completely present, and yeah, that were two moments that really changed my life. It's
Wow. And is there any book you read you say would inspire you like to recommend?
Yeah, there are lots of books, but I think my favorite book, it's a very easy book. It's like it's actually written, I think, for children. It's by Esther and Jerry Hicks. You might know Abraham Hicks.
I know, yeah.
And the book is actually, it's 3 books in one. It's like a trilogy, and in Germany it's called Sarah und die Eule. I think it's Sarah and the Owl.
Yeah.
And it's if you haven't read it, please buy that book. It's so beautiful. Wow. Because it's so simple, and it's a very nice story, but it's also very profound. It gives you like answers to the most profound questions, and it's about the law of attraction, but kind of about everything. It's very beautiful.
Wow. I'm just reading. I'm about to finish Ask and It's Given by them. Yeah. So
you like it?
nice. Yeah, I do. I really like it. Yeah.
then go read Sarah and the Owl.
Yeah, I will.
Everyone should read that book. It's very nice. It's just like it's food for the soul.
Nice. I will put that in the show notes. Oh, Kat, is there anything I didn't ask you would like to share with the world, with the listeners?
I don't think so. I think you asked all the right questions. I hope I said everything I wanted to say, but I think it's okay. I think I did.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much for your time and sharing your story and healing yourself, because if you heal yourself, you heal the world. So it's good that you started that journey with yourself, and now you can help others as well. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really fun.
Yeah.
New experience. A little out of my comfort zone, but really cool.
Very good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Welcome back, and thank you for listening until the end of the episode. And yeah, I hope you learned something new about ayahuasca. If you want to know more, I put the links in the show notes about what ayahuasca is. I also added the link of the retreat center where I did ayahuasca the first time. That was actually a year ago in Peru, and that was beautiful retreat center. Very loving people. And also I will link you my YouTube video. It's only 7 minutes long, I think. And there I speak about my own ayahuasca experience. So if you want to learn more, if you are feeling that you're hearing a calling, then maybe you can follow that. And if not, then that's okay as well. It also took me several years, same as Kati, to really try it myself for the first time. And if you have any questions, please just contact me. You can text me on Instagram at Nadine Yoga, and also I'll be super happy if you leave a comment there under the post and tell me what you think about this episode and how it helped you. What's the one takeaway? And I'm going back to Portugal the end of the week, and I'm also going to compete at the Belgium Yoga Sports Federation. I will compete or attend for Germany on Saturday, so please cross your fingers for me. And then I will go to Portugal. So if you're in Portugal, I would love to meet you there, and I will have a lot of beautiful events and day retreats and also week-long retreats in Portugal in the future. So if you want to know more, you can also sign up for my newsletter. That's on my website, happysafari.com. Anyways, I love to connect with you or stay in touch with you, see you in person or hear from you, whatever way is best for you. But I just love this community. I love the people I'm interviewing, and I'm reconnecting to or new friends I've been making through this podcast. And I always love it to hear from you and hear what you liked or how an episode helped you. So also please share it with your friends. That really means the world to me. I can see the podcast is growing week by week. So also thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. And really what I'm trying is to share and spread more happiness, and also to encourage you that everybody has their story. Everybody is finding their way to pursue happiness, but happiness also means different things for different people. And maybe it just means to be in the moment, feel more connected. But maybe it means that you have to try something maybe a little crazy like ayahuasca to change your life. So whatever it is, you will know deep down inside. And if you feel that you cannot connect with your intuition, or you are feeling lost, then I also added the links in the show notes to work with Kati or with myself. So whatever resonates with you, get in touch with us. And it's also okay to get some help. Sometimes you don't have to walk all the way by yourself. And yeah, I hope I hear and see you again next week. Until then, I wish you a wonderful day, no matter where in the world you are. Love and namaste.